Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JC here with another video on Action Taimanin. Today we're gonna check the new boss that arrived to VR, but before we start, don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. So, before we even start checking Wyrm Night, we need to check a couple more things, and that's the VR shop. Just a quick reminder, we have special limited items that you want to buy all of them. This is going to cost you 2 days to get this. It's gonna be 5 days to get, and this is like 350 or something like that, even 250. It's super cheap. So yeah, you have 2 weeks to redeem all of these. So you can, if you farm all your points, you will be able to get them. All of these items are worth it, and this in particular is pretty good because it's 5,000 coins cheaper than any of these weapons, and you can select the weapon, which is very good. So be sure to redeem this. Also, we have new weapons added to the VR shop for this boss, which is super great that they add them. We have one for Lina and one for Ingrid, the two characters that we're going to be facing. And these weapons are actually pretty good. They, obviously all VR weapons are good, but the fact that they are for Lina and Ingrid are good because you can use those two characters against this specific boss. So, the first thing that we're going to be doing is analyze the attack pattern and the what's happening in this stage. So I'm using two disposable characters. They don't have anything equipped, but they have low life, and we're just going to do this so that you can see. I'm even going to reduce it a little bit more, like 6. I think 6 would be good enough to kill them. And what we're gonna check is the attack pattern of the enemy. Sorry, I don't have BP. Like, yeah, at least 3. So, we're gonna be facing Ingrid, Lina, and an alternative version of Ingrid, which is a Wyrm Knight Ingrid. So, the first Ingrid and Lina are like, they don't have anything in particular that you should worry about. They're just normal bosses. We have seen them in the story chapters, we have seen them in events, and they don't have anything new to offer in regards to their moveset. Well, maybe they do, but it's not important at all. So I just let her finish with my characters and then I eliminate her. So here is where the magic starts. So Ingrid is going to transform. She's going to summon Lina. And let's check her attacks. First of all, she is going to summon this fire pit, which is not going to die out throughout the battle. Keep that in mind. Number 2, as you can see, I did a perfect dodge, and she wasn't inflicted with mind control. What's happening here? While Lina is alive, Ingrid and Lina are unable to be inflicted with debuffs. I have not tried to eliminate Ingrid before Lina. I mean, Lina has less HP, so it's very difficult to purposely defeat Ingrid first. But maybe something happens. I don't think there's an interaction for that, but there could be. Oops, nope, not that button. So, yeah. As you can see, she's going to do that attack where she elevates herself. She flies into the air and then she slashes into the ground diagonally. She also has the basic attack. She has the thirst. She has the fireball that she has as a playable character. There we go. That one. Normal attacks. We're missing a couple more attacks. Let's see. Okay, she has the like most of the normal skills that she has as a playable character. We're missing a Super Giant Thirst that she has. That also makes a kind of a line on the ground. That one, that Thirst. That specific Thirst. And I think that's about it. That's all the attacks that she has. And there we go. Let's see. I'm going to try to do something here. Let's see if I can. So. Okay, yeah. So I have equipped White Fedoraska, as you can see. So she is vulnerable to Super Armor Break, but every other debuff is not going to take effect. Well, there are exceptions. I don't know if this is intentional or not, but Phantasma's defense reduction from her leader skill is active. The enemies have the debuff while she is near them, so keep that in mind. And as you can see, it has been a while since they started this phase, and I haven't been able to inflict a debuff. But now that Lina is dead, I can inflict mind control. You see? So I just wanted you to know how this boss works before we even start checking strategies. Also, the further you progress into the steps, the more difficult it becomes. I forgot to mention something else. So, well, I'll continue where I was. You saw that there was one fire pit. Well, the more you progress, the more fire pits there will be. And these pits deal a ton of multi-hits. It is annoying, I can tell you that. Also, Ingrid has another particular thing. I think I'm gonna do it. No. I'm gonna do another run here. I'm just going to use potions. Or I could just... No, I'll do it. I'll receive a couple of hits so that you see it. So, before we start with that, we need to check the list of icons. Icon list. And here you'll find Burn. Very nice and all. But we also have Hellfire, which is a debuff from Ingrid. I haven't used Ingrid ever since her renewal because I am still displeased at it. On how they nerf her basic enhancer. But anyways, I wasn't aware, and I'm not aware, if her Hellfire is a stack debuff. There are debuff and buffs that are just normal, that you get the one icon and that's it. And there's other ones that stack constantly, like for example Spinel's Frenzy or the Momochi Weapon Defense Down. Well, I don't know if Ingrid naturally does the Hellfire on stacks, but this Ingrid does. And what does the Hellfire says? Reduce attack while dealing damage. This stacks a bunch of times, like too many to be comfortable in this stage. So maybe you're gonna see your damage reduced. Cleansing would be nice, but we don't have that many supporters who do party-wide cleanses and offer something else which is valuable. So yeah, that's a problem, but it's like we can deal with it. It's manageable to some degree. Let's see if no, I'm not gonna reach it, am I? Well, here we go. I have bleed and I have Hellfire. And see how I am not receiving damage? I am receiving damage, yeah. It's a little damage. And I guess... I'm not sure why it stacks. Maybe you get damage reduction and you get more and more damage. Let's see. And it's not going off. It lasts... Oh, yeah. The more stacks you have, the more damage it takes. I don't think it's permanent. It would be awkward for this to be permanent. But it definitely lasts a long time, as you can see. Well, I think it is permanent. And that's very bad. Because it's like a poison effect that's going to constantly chip away at your life. And also, you get attack reduction. I don't know like how much is the percentage and if it stacks and then you have like zero attack. But I think that it is a very unique thing. Finally, we have a boss that inflicts. Well, it's not like super oppressive, but it's oppressive for sure. An oppressive debuff that we actually want to cleanse or remove. Due to the duration that we just saw, I don't think that a weapon like the amber weapons that reduce the duration. Look at this. Look at the amount of hits and how this stacks. And well, that's 11, 10. Let's see. I'm gonna take more damage. Yeah, give me more. How about 40? If I take 40, 13. Yeah, it's probably based on the numbers of stacks and the attack damage of the enemy, which is going to increase the more we progress on the steps. So yeah, I wonder. I mean, you can compare the damage. I didn't pay attention to that, but you can compare the damage in between the clips to see how much my damage is reduced. If it gets reduced even further or something like that. It probably is. Like, there has to be a disadvantage for getting hit. So yeah, this is pretty difficult. Like, people are telling me that they're having troubles with this stage because of how much damage Ingrid is applying. And there's more to this. The way this fire works is terrible for auto farming because Shisui doesn't evade, she doesn't move. I mean, she moves naturally, but she follows the enemy, and if the enemy is close by and all your characters are near each other, then it's very likely that the fire is going to hit you and you're not going to move for a while and you're just going to die. That happened to me on a very low stage. If you want to auto farm, do it at step 31, my recommendation. This is manageable. And that's for someone who usually farms at 41, 51, or 61, depending on the enemy. So if it's too difficult for you, it's fine to auto farm and at step 11. You don't have to do. It's okay to just give up on the rewards just for the convenience or not of not having to pay attention to your farming and just do your dailies. I totally encourage people to do it that way. Don't feel guilty about not optimizing. Like, this game, the gacha games are something that you're going to do for the long run, and that's why you shouldn't worry too much about the drops unless you're actively trying to get them. So, with that out of the way, let's see how we should be tackling this. I'm gonna do it on step 62, so I'm going to be progressing. I have two builds. I like, there aren't that many videos of people beating this at the time of recording. I did see CJ, I think it was CJ, who did 2 runs, but I was confused about why he used Eleanor. But now I understand. It's not Eleanor itself that it's important, which I'm going to use, by the way. It's the amount of multi-hits that she has and that she's a demon type character. So for this one, we're going to do the demon strategy. I think that both of them are demon. No, not both of them are pure demon. So, this is pure demon. We're going to be using Eleanor, as you can see. We're going to be using Guide of the Starry Seas. We're using also Christmas Twinkle. 4 out of 5 plus 14. And this one, 5 out of 5 plus 15. We're using Anti-Human Winged Magatamas. We're also using Reflective Ray, Acid Rain, and Geyser Burst. All of these have a good amount of multi-hits. And we want that because we're going to equip White Feather Aska, which I used to have on Noboro right now, to show you that White Feather Aska strategies are going to be very important against this enemy. If you don't have White Feather Aska and you're a new player, don't worry. After a while, it will take a while, like 200 days or something, you will receive a select ticket for limited supporters. And you can select White Feather Aska. While my White Feather Aska is 5 out of 5, you actually only need her to be 1 out of 5. You need the effect, the passive on the active, this one. So yeah, don't worry too much about not having this or not having it at the proper S level. Because what you want is the effect. Those help out suppress type characters or machine type characters, or both, like Asuka or Shisui. But for the most part, you just want the super armor break effect. Obviously, you can see that I have a 24% damage increase here, then a 40% and a 36%. You can change these for other supporters. For example, I could change it for, if I'm not mistaken, I already removed Susune. Yeah, here is Susune, so I can increase my damage a little bit. And well, these are my stat trainings, my awakening skills for those who do not know, so that you have a reference. I do have like most of them maxed out. I'm just missing these and the PvP ones and the EXP one too. Everything else is maxed out. Then for customs, I have these ones. Remember that the customs do give you stats. They are worth it. Then, it is super important to have HP recovery. I think that if you want to use a full demon team, specifically full demon, it is okay to use a healer. But trying to use a healer on a mixed team, I don't think it's as effective. Why? Because full demon is very supported thanks to some limited supporters. Here we have Lapis. Let's see. For Lapis, I have. Oops. Yeah, sorry about that. The weapon is gonna be Shikigiri, but Shikigiri is not offering us anything at all. Like, I'm not gonna be using the Bright and a Rose because we already know that we are going to be unable to inflict debuffs to the enemy at the beginning of the second form. So keep that in mind. I'm using whatever element with human Magatamas. Whatever Magatamas, a weapon 5 out of 5 plus 15, both of them 5 out of 5, yeah. Piercing dash, support, gem support, and moral boost. Classic supportive skills to keep your HP high. We have Lapis. Lapis doesn't really matter the main effect. What really matters is the damage reduction for all your demon type characters, and as you can see, this is a demon type team, so really good. If you have the other Lapis, you can use it, yes, but it is not the same kind of value. This is going to allow you to crit, which is good and all, but the damage reduction is really worth it. This is the reason why I wanted this supporter, that and the speed increase. I'm also using Blackbeard Kirara as a generic way to deal damage, and you can change Blackbeard Kirara for Arabella. It's almost the same, just without the HP recovery. And lastly, I have Nana. If you don't have Nana, you can also use Sakuya. If I can find Sakuya, that is. Yeah, Sakuya. There's other options if you want, but I won't dwell on it too much. And of course the skins, I just have 4 of them. I don't have that many. And now, Oboro. Oboro is probably one of the most important characters in this strategy. But remember that the enemy has immunity. So, while Oboro is pretty important, she's not going to do much if she isn't able to deal damage. So, unfortunately, as you can see, my skull face is only 3 out of 5. It's not 5 out of 5. When did it become 3 out of 5? Ah, yeah, with a ticket. I remember now. It is plus 12. This one is 5 out of 5 plus 11. You want to enhance your damage as much as possible. Remember that. We have human, water, which is going to increase the speed of my attacks, whatever magatamas, and then I have wicked slasher. It's going to be red, so it inflicts mind control. Flash step, which increases my speed, and hypnosis seal. Hypnosis seal and all the counters and perfect dodge skills are going to be pretty good in this stage because they the fire pits won't die out and you will have an easy way to proc them. Unfortunately, the AI is not very smart about it, so it's better to pilot the one character that you want to abuse with those skills. Here I'm gonna be using where are you? Spinel. So Gal Lilim and Momochi Nagi are here to increase my my survivability as well as my damage. If you don't have them, you can use Furfur. Furfur is a really excellent choice. She's not as proficient as both of them, but it is an option. And it is F2P. These two are F2P and this one is Gacha. Then we have limited character release limited Spinel. This one has a whatever effect on the main, but the passive on the active is really good because it increases the damage dealt by all my demon type characters by 28%. And the active is also pretty good, inflicting super slow onto the enemy whenever you use the active. Remember to use it once Lina is dead, because otherwise you're just going to waste it. So, with that in mind, you should always focus Lina. And you should not try to use your debuffs. You have to use the skills for sure, but not with the intention of debuffing the enemy, but to deplete Lina's HP. And then you can debuff Ingrid. So, let's test her very quickly. Like this, I think it's going to work. I mean, it worked last time. So, but it is risky. I won't deny that. You want to use the potions in this VR boss. With this VR boss, for sure. I just do this, and as you can see, everything normal. We break the super armor. We inflict mind control. Yeah, if you are able to apply the double White Feather Askai strategy with Oboro and Eleanor, or maybe Phantasma, that would be great. Let's see, we're almost done. Oh, I see why I'm taking so long on depleting that HP. We have suppressed type damage reduction, and I have 2 suppressed type characters. My main attackers are suppressed type. We want to focus here on Spinel. God, come on, you're almost done. Okay, and an ultimate, perfect. And look, leaving the animation, Eleanor doesn't have the attack down now. Perfect. Almost done with her. And now I can inflict debuffs to Ingrid, which is great. The super slow. And also, I take advantage of the fire to apply my mind control. The problem is when you push Ingrid into the fire pit. Try to avoid that. Try to look the other way so that you don't end up leaving her in the middle of the fire. And with your melee characters, they get into the fire. So be careful with that. The fire pits are really going to change the way we play VR, because the AI isn't smart about them. So we have to use a mixture of range attackers with, or mid-range attackers and melee attackers. In this case, I have 2 melee attackers and 1 mid-range attacker. So keep that in mind. Use a combination. If you can use the 3 of them, 1 range, 1 melee, and 1 mid-range, I think that would be the best scenario possible. Okay, I'm a little bit behind. Where is she? Oh, another thing that I didn't mention, and now that I see it, it's here. When hit has a 10% chance to increase the skill cooldown time. This is the worst. All the effects that apply when hit are terrible on this specific VR. Be super careful about them. You don't want to be left stranded without skills. And I don't think I'm gonna be able to beat her, but you saw I have damage reduction. Oops. Yeah. Just a little bit, I could have been able to beat her. I'm not going to do it again. You saw that damage reduction was the thing keeping me from winning this. So I'm just going to show you the other strategy. Because you know that if I didn't get that unlucky roll on the passive, I would have won. I was just like 800 away from beating it. So this one is a little bit more friendly. You saw that I was using a lot of limited supporters before. So here I still have limited supporters. That White Theraska is extremely important for this VR boss. So we're going to be using Phantasma. For stat training, I have these. For weapons, 4 out of 5 plus 13 Momochi weapon, and 5 out of 5 plus 13 PvP weapon. Anti-human Magatamas with whatever element, whatever Magatamas. And then we're going to go red. We're going to be using Phantasmal Shades. So usually I don't like these skills. I really don't. But considering that I'm going to be hit a lot by those flames, and these provide a way of escaping after being hit, these just raise their value. I still think that this isn't the best skill in the world, but it will fulfill a purpose in this specific VR. Then we have Twister Dance and Crunching Fear, both as ways to recover HP. Phantasma's role is to reduce the defense of the enemy and also break the super armor of the enemy. So yes, we're using again White Theraska. And as I mentioned, we're using Furfur because Furfur is good. And look at this. I bet you haven't leveled this up. Sharia. Sharia is a really, really, really strong suppress as supporter. Yeah, a suppress supporter. Like usually people use major because there were more instances where we needed damage reduction against machines. In the case of Sharia, there weren't many bosses that required this. Like for Master Taimanin, we could just stop her on her tracks immediately, so we didn't need the damage reduction. But it is pretty useful against Ingrid, I can tell you that much. So I'll be enchanting this in the future because this is only +8. And here are the customs. I only have 3 customs. For Emily, Emily is going to be a generic supporter. You can change her, yes, but she fulfills an extra role as a secondary healer. It's like, how can I say this? We have both Felicia and Lapis as dedicated healers, and there's Emily and Shizuru as extra healers. They don't do the same thing, but they help out a little bit. So that's gonna be her role. Oh yeah, of course. She is maxed out. Definitely maxed out. I mean, it's an auto farmer. That's why she's maxed out. Then we have Sledge of Blessings, 5 out of 5, +14, with Anti-Human Wind Magatamas, which enhance the speed and the damage. And this is pretty useful because it allows you to combo super quickly so that you can get those buffs from Sledge of Blessing. We also have a whatever weapon, 5 out of 5, +14, with whatever Magatamas. And we're going blue. Blue is a particularly good option in this VR because you get HP recovery on demand. Number 1, we have Homing Bullet because it's pretty easy to activate and it doesn't take an animation. Like, it just happens. Like, you don't have to do wind up or charge or anything. That's why we use Homing Bullets. Healing Field is going to be a supportive skill that is going to help out those characters who cannot heal. And Whole Gravity is just a good attack that deals a decent amount of damage, and it also restores Emily's HP. There's double value on this. Then for supporters, of course we're using Mido Haruka. If you have 2 Mido Harukas, that would be great. Using 2 of them to beat this would be amazing. We also have Arabella, and here we have Felicia. We have to use Mido Haruka on the main because she provides a ton of damage. Increase all damage dealt against human type enemies. You want that. The damage reduction, it is greater than the damage reduction you get from the passive from Felicia, so don't worry, use this, it's great. For customs, as you can see, I have many of them, which really enhance my stats. And lastly, we have Oboro. For Oboro, I already showed you. She's exactly the same as before, with one exception. The supporter. Here I was using, Susune. Why Susune? To help out with HP recovery, honestly. Like, I get damage increase, but there are other options for damage increase. But the HP recovery helps a ton. So yeah, I'm using this. You could still use Spinel if you have it. Yeah, sure, why not? The important part is that you get the damage increase and you also support Phantasma in that case. Here we have her skins so that you can count them. And yeah, let's test this one. This one is way better because, as I mentioned, we're using 1 melee, 1 mid-range, and 1 range attacker. And with that, the enemy is going to scatter those flame pits and is not going to be able to abuse them as much. So yeah, let's start with this. So what do you think about this boss, guys? Like, I'll admit, it is fun that they uh, force us to pay attention to these new mechanics and understand how it works so that we find ways to abuse what we already have, to deal with their strategies. And there, you see that they are debuffed? It's only the leader skill, that's about it. No other debuff is applied to them while Spinel no, Lina is alive. Flash step there, almost. There, almost done. Where is she? She's there? I'll use the active. And finally. Where is Ingrid? Ingrid, come on. There. Finally, I'll be able to just destroy her. So yeah, we need more supporters that help out the party, like giving attack buff, attack up, defense reduction, or defense up, any of those, and also cleanse. So Gremory, that's one thing to take into consideration. Like, whenever we think of cleansers, we think of F2P supporters because cleanse is something that you wouldn't want to actually roll in the gacha. We want more aggressive supporters. But yeah, like, that's something that they should consider the next time they design F2P supporters. Okay, great. I'm gonna use the ultimate. Mind control. Also Susune. I just wait and mind control. And we have the damage down. The damage reduction on suppress. But even so, we were able to beat her. But just barely. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I'm able to reach step 100. Like, I do have a strong account. I know a ton of things. But I gotta admit, like, I'm not like the most hardcore one. I don't see some things in the strategies to actually just eliminate this. And besides, it's kind of hard. Because Soboro is really, really good here. But mine is strong, but not the strongest because of Skullface. I need more copies of this. I'm gonna get her whenever I can. So yeah, guys, what do you think about this boss? I mean, probably there's a ton of people struggling with all the things that did this boss do. That's why I wanted to do the first run, to show you very quickly the things that the boss does. Inflicting the burn, which deals damage and reduces your damage, which cannot be cleansed for the most part. I mean, it doesn't cleanse itself naturally, that's the thing. And there's also the fact that the enemies, both Lina and Ingrid, are immune to your debuffs as long as Lina is alive. So yeah, be sure to focus her. And I'm anxious to see other people do builds on this because it is pretty challenging. I like it. I like it. In my opinion, whenever we're able to get these two weapons at a good S level, this is gonna become way easier. I don't have any of the anti-human weapons at S level 5. I only have one, and it's S level 1. So that's why I don't show you um, runs with those. But I'll try to get them in the future round. It's gonna take a while, at least like maybe 5 months. No, 3 months and a half at the very least to get one. I'll see what I can do. But in any case, that's about it for today, and I'll be seeing you next time. And let me know in the comments how you're beating this stage. See you guys. Bye.